And today, you can have a shorthand analysis through your handwriting and through your top 5 colors. We'll be doing this live. But one of the shortcuts, John, I normally use is through your irritation. I guarantee you that if you write down 6 things that irritate you, out of there, we find your personality and we find your area of excellence. That's interesting. I love using this example. A camel can survive most parts of the land, but its identified area of excellence is in the desert. It's important to use that analogy as we look and face life. You can excel in most parts, but there is a uniqueness, or there are aspects about your personality that you can excel in. Irritation is very important, and if you've never concentrated with it through this podcast, please take attention to it. I guarantee you. If you love, let's say you see how this table is, allow me to use this example. Because even today we are going to use through your eating habits, John. Through eating habits, we are able to tell your personality. Allow me to use this good forest cake.
Yes, please.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Through how you plod along the plate, we are able to know your areas of excellence. For instance, we have fast-paced eaters. I will not demonstrate that for today's sake. Okay, so these are people who really jumble through pretty quick. I can have all this, clear this plate before even John attempts his. Okay,
I have a friend, and this is just perfect. I think I'll even send this quote to her. So just as you're explaining that, just hold on. Just elaborate on that now, because you've said you want to demonstrate fast-paced eaters.
Yes, fast-paced eaters.
Okay, so
now, John, fast-paced eaters, and it's important to put this out to our viewers today. What's obvious is that they plod fast along the plate, which is what I'll not demonstrate, but I'll use the basics. Basically, they jumble up pretty quick and they munch up pretty fast. All right? So they really have an animated face. All right? I have one problem with this kind of people. Is that as they march through, they lose the crucial details. Because they act or respond from a sense of urgency. What does that mean to your employer? It means if they look to hire you in a position where details are crucial, you fall short. What does it mean then to your learning style? You like things brief and straight to the point. What does it mean to your relationship style? Now, this is where you need to take it down slow. Why? You're fast-paced. You're aggressive. So if you're looking forward in dating someone who perhaps, I'm going to talk about different kind of eaters. If you're looking forward to date a slow eater, that means they take time, they sample their plate, they eat like they have low enthusiasm, the distance between how they grab and they take the sweet time to munch. You may have a challenge if you're dating this kind of lady. Why? They take too much time to absorb what to eat. They may even have a hard time to take time to order for what they want. So you'll be frustrated as a guy. Okay? So if the employer is checking out the slow eater, then they know they have a challenge with you. Why? You begin with a lot of passion and you end up what? Going, your enthusiasm is slow.
This is so crazy.
It's crazy, and we're going to go direct into it. There's also the Adventurous Eater.
I'll tell you what. No, because don't forget, we are getting back to the Dangerous Eater. Okay. And she's going to see this. She's my friend. We did it maybe 3 days ago. She's the current Miss World Kenya. Okay. Her name is Finale.
Yes.
So she was explaining to me about how she doesn't really she is a slow eater.
Yes.
She explained that to me, and she took quite some time to make her order. And she also explained she loses interest very fast in what she does. And she explained that because she did an accounting I think gig or job, and she just said that's not for her or something. Or if unless I'm mistaken, but I think she described something close to that, and she said, she just loses interest like super fast. All these things that you've described. And another thing, very funny, she's going to see this video and she's just going to laugh, and because she knows like everything you're saying is very right. So she was served what do you call it, pasta, really nice, because she wanted, and she was talking about the pasta like she's really looking forward to eat it. So it was served on the plate. She started, they brought the chili. She did like the whole chili spreading around and everything, and she really looked excited about the food. And she took a few bites. I started eating at my own pace, just medium pace. I finished everything, but when I looked at her plate, it was super, super slow. And then within 5 minutes after I had finished, like she really didn't even, I don't think she even got halfway. And she was just not interested at all. So what you're saying is very mind-blowing, because that's something that I've actually seen like in just 2 or 3 days ago.
True.
And I also have a friend, said aggressive eater.
Fast-paced eater.
Fast-paced eater.
Yes.
She's going to see this and she's just going to yell at me like, John, what were you thinking?
What were you thinking?
But we won't say her name.
True.
But I remember I turned on my left to do, like, just to put the salt and pepper and everything, because she had warned me like she really eats fast, but I thought it was a joke. There's no way, how bad can it be? How crazy can it be? So as I was turning, we're just having a conversation. So I said like, let me just take like 2 minutes and just do like the salt and pepper and everything, put my chili and stuff as I'm talking to her. So when I turned like this, her food was gone.
Whoa. And
that was in less than 2 or 3 minutes. Everything, like the plate was super
cleaned out.
Yeah, cleaned out. But she just said like and I was so shocked because I was like, did you send the waiter? Did the waiter take your food? Or I was just confused. But she told me like, it's even embarrassing. I don't eat in front of people because I don't want people to see how I eat. But that's how she enjoys eating her food.
True.
Yeah, she can't eat slow.
And as you said, John, this also talks about 7 aspects about her, just by how she handled her plate. Now, I like when you said one of your friends, kind of applied some chili around.
Yeah.
Those are the adventurous eaters. What they do, they spice up the plate.
Yeah.
They go for what their eyes desire first. So I like putting it like they eat from the eyes first. They feed from the eyes first before they actually feed on it, because there are people, suppose this is a buffet or a la carte, there are people who love very spicy, very colorful things on their plate, and they don't end up finishing everything.
True.
So you see this kind of eater, in adventurous eater, chances are high, even in college or university, you're going to try out many careers.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to try out many subjects. You're going to try so many careers that you feel, let me try this course, let me try something else. And there are challenges with that. I love your dynamism, I love your adaptability, but there's a challenge with your enthusiasm. Can we rely with you long enough? That translates to your dating as well. This is a challenge. I'm sorry to say this, but I have to be honest with you. I mean, chances are high you may end up in very short-term relationships and going to the next, greener pastures. And these are the challenges that may manifest themselves in platforms of dating, in platforms of corporate, and from a personal point of view. Yeah. So I expect you, maybe if we had a conversation now, 3 months down the line, you've changed something else. So this is the point where I'm saying we need to rewire everything about you. Conditioning, like a reconditioning. And by this, I mean, we have to have a reflective response about this. But it translates to every area in your life through the eating habits and through dating platforms or corporate platforms, as we said, but it's about, again, your personality. Yeah. So it translates to various areas, and we need to look into this.
So, I mean, now people have to even be cautious when they're eating. But yeah, you mentioned like 3 kinds of eaters, right?
Yes.
And that clearly reflects on someone's personality.
Sure.
Let's mention about how I've been eating.
Yes.
Right now. Yeah, since you're here, why not? Why not just, give me a breakdown of what maybe you've noticed about how...
Okay, so far...
clearly you're bored with your food, first of all, clearly. And it's all chocolate, icing on top and everything.
Perhaps it's because I was discussing. But what we learned through... can I use your plate for demonstration purposes?
Yes.
That would be great. Viewers, what we have here is great enthusiasm from John.
Yeah.
You can see by how he approaches his plate. It's very important. It's from the edge as you go to the other edge. There are people who begin, allow me to use this as a demonstration, from the middle.
Yeah.
They begin from the middle, then break it down in small pieces.
That's hideous. I don't like that. Even when somebody's next to you and they do that, you'll be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
But it talks about different people and how they approach life.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
There are people, even, this would surprise you. There are people who start from the side. And there are people that you see, they cut methodically. This talks about the approach that they have. So since we're talking about John, you see that he begins with the edge like I did as you graduate along the plate. And you can see the style that he applies with this. Now, John, you're very systematic in what you do.
True.
Very methodical, which makes you, there are about 8 types of thinkers, and you're one of them. You have very incubating moments. Like you can go what I call shutdown process. You incubate a lot, process, digest, then you speak.
True. Very true.
This is a very different kind of introvert compared to introverts who think once, then do it once. John is not very hasty, and we can learn that through the plate. He absorbs. So if you find him in his low moments, it's not that he didn't hear you. He took time to process, digest, look for alternatives, then speak, or then project what really is a mental reflection of what he's had. So you can tell that through the plate. And now, since he's involved in areas such as this, I would say that's why this office is great for him. He does not need a physical office per se. Why? Because he's dynamic. And people such of this nature, it would trap John to put him in a fixated career. He needs a dynamic career.
Very true.
You need careers where you have free thinking, free thought, so that his creativity can be oozed out to its maximum. You want to trap John to friends who know him. I mean, just be very rigid. That's it. He's already out. You call in John when you need technicalities. You call in John when you need to process through some things. You call John when you need some alternative thinking. He's very wired for that. But you call him for positions where it's trapped. No.
I can't do it.
For him, results matter, yes, but the process is so crucial for him. The process. So you want to make John your friend and you want to keep it at results level. You're not going to have him for long. You want to keep him from a process level. He has to hear you out, you born, and you have this great. So you see how wired that is. And we need people like you. All that through a serving.
Food, just food.
I'm not going to touch relationship.
Let's not do that right now. But we can get to that. But let's not do it now.
Yeah, sure.
So, as just another thing that you mentioned. What about how you've described? How about those people who like just mess the food from the middle? What does that say about them?
Interesting. Now, we have people, like I said, different kinds of people, and this transfers to handwriting. And by the way, I should have told you, it's the reason why you have thin lettered handwriting slanting to the right.
Yeah, true.
And which means
very true.
You're very angle, like in fact your A is very sharp and your M is very sharp. You can confirm that.
No, that's true. That's true. I don't even need to confirm. That's very true.
So
and I do make sure I don't do those A's that have a curve. I can never do that.
You can never do that. No, you don't slant them. You what
Yeah.
I mean is that you don't slant your alphabets.
Yeah.
You're the very acute.
I actually like that. Even if like I do like where the lines cross each
Yes.
other, that's more interesting to me.
More interesting.
Rather than doing like the curve.
True.
Yeah.
True. Shows your technical abilities.
All right.
And that's great.
Interesting.
So, John, and to our viewers, we have people who make things messy. And this irritates me, but in case you're that kind of viewer, allow me to be patient with you, and I hope you're going to bear with me. But the people who make things messy at first, then they have a sense of order. That's interesting, because we have people who avoid the messiness and program themselves to deal with order. That's how things fall out. But there are people, and this is interesting, these are the people, if you go to their bedroom or to their closet, I mean, everything is everywhere. But they know where everything is. Interesting. I mean, things have got to be messy, but they can also apply order. So, the people who break things, make things messy first, then apply order to that. The personality attribute about these people is that they love going through their own form of routine. These are people who are there to challenge the norm. They know what's in place, but I come to challenge it and form my own rules within the rules. There are people like that, and you can know them through the plate, how they plod along the plate. So if you see those kind of people who make things messy fast, really messy, I just made this messy so that it can be practical. Make this thing messy, and then and you can see how this is jumbled up. Sorry if this is irritating you, but I just want to describe this personality. Once it's jumbled up in this way, that's when they are at liberty to enjoy their food. Now, these people are necessary for that pool that we said of personality. But I may have challenges. We may have challenges with this kind of people because they need their own set rules. So how do we deal with this kind of people then if they make things messy? Provide the general rules. First thing that needs to be so evident, provide the consequences, not the rules. Provide the consequences. From that, then they can form the rules. Because if you begin with the rules first, you're gonna collide. These are the people you're not gonna be okay with, all right? These are the people you're gonna be in constant conflict with. But if this is in a corporate scenario and you know yourself, then you'll have challenges with a team leader. You're only answerable to the boss of your boss. So you see, with this kind of people, if you're dealing with them on a friendly level, maybe from friendship and things like those, provide the consequences. Go like, if you make that plate messy, this will be the consequences for that, all right? So you may have good intentions to work with them, but they come with their own philosophy of doing things, and it's why we have a challenge with this kind of people. Now, people who begin from the middle and make things messy, those are the ones that I'm describing. Now, for people who begin with things from the side, on the side, there are people who eat from the side. That's interesting. I've met interesting people, and that can transfer through their handwriting. Now, before I go to the people who begin from the side, this kind of people who makes things messy, their handwriting tells you. I mean, you do not need any form of coaching to know. These are people you can, I mean, the pressure they apply on the paper, you can even go to the other page and you're going to see a transference of just the pressure they applied on that paper. I mean, these people come with aggression. So that's how it translates even to their form of handwriting as well. So things are a little bit messy, but they know where everything is. So you're really going to approach them from a point of consequence, from a point of, okay, I know you have planned yourself out, but just know you're in an existing team. This is how things may occur. Now, for people who eat from the side, John, excuse me, if they're in a relationship these are the people who love gradually. Okay, they give their love gradually. You know, like, take this. It's like I give you a piece of cake. Taste this first. Is it good enough? Take the other. Take the other. They're not gonna give you the whole entire piece of cake. So they do this gradually. So that means we have trust issues. We have issues with loyalty. I know perhaps you may say, I've been broken before. I've been heartbroken before. I mean, I have every reason to apply this skill gradually. Well, people are different. I understand that aspect, but do not let it misrepresent you. All right? So if it's in a corporate setup, people who eat from the side are good in short-term projects. Don't give them long-term. Long-term, they will get exhausted. You will not get the best out of them. In fact, they are good with careers that deal with the morning hours. So I know 8 to 5 job, it's a no-go zone for them. They have to give that image that they're doing their best, but it's not their best. Morning hours, these people are active. Afternoon, 2 to 3, boredom starts going down. So we have challenges with those kind of people. Career selection, you're going to find these people are really going to begin with the safest careers, personal businesses, things that they know they're going to get quick money. You know, like I said, they eat from the side, you know, not just come in big and delve in big, you know. So we have those kind of people. And lastly, perhaps, I know you've got questions for me and our viewers as well. We have the isolationist kind of eater. Now, this is the rarest, John. The isolationist. I mean, the name even tells you. The isolationist type of eater. Now, since I ordered a Black Forest, the isolationist eater will go through the entire menu to know even what kind of cake, what's good for me. Am I on a diet? How many calories are on this cake? Fat level, energy level. I mean, these people are nitty gritty. I mean, by the time they settle down for this, if it's forest cake, they're gonna have a little piece. And how they walk around the fork and the knife, I mean, you're gonna see there's some dinner etiquette. I mean, with how these people approach, you know, they're so methodical. You can even feel that they are monarch. Even the way they return the fork, I mean, this isolationist type of eaters, they're very methodical with how they apply. I mean, they take their time. They have, you can see they skill in what they do. This kind of people are the ones in a corporate level. I mean, when it comes to career selection, they know what they want in life. They are cutthroat. So if you're made with these people, you're going to see them as blunt. They're very blunt, straight to the point. I mean, they tell you things as they are. And you are likely to feel rejected with these people. Why? They give you answers real quick. They're so truthful with you. In fact, you're like, please save the rest. Save the rest. You know, just because they are so lethal in being honest. And I use the word lethal is because they tell you as it is. They know the careers that they want to engage in. They know what is trending. I mean, they're so informative, but they're very quiet. This is the problem. Their brilliance is quiet. This is another kind of introvert. They are not out there. They are not help. I mean, you can say 1 + 1 is 5, and they go like, okay, it's 5. I'm going to agree with you, but I know deep down it's 2. I mean, these people,
they just don't have time for that.
Time for arguing with you. I mean, you can say it's 5 and they're like, okay. I mean, we know it's wrong, but they're not vocal.
True.
So if you're in a corporate, I mean, we can have challenges if you're there to discuss your promotion. If you're there to discuss, I need an increment in my salary. They don't speak for themselves. They can be bullied. I mean, and everybody knows they have that innocent face, but when will you speak? If you're that kind of viewer, I mean, when will you project what you really feel? So these are the people who I would call them, they're like canned sodas, John. They shake. There's just when they will explode. You get them on the wrong angle, you see someone else. They can be volcanic with you, but they're just quiet. Most of the time, they're just quiet. You get them on a wrong angle when it's too much. It's another personality.
You push them to the wall and they just erupt into something else. That's very interesting. And it's just a good thing that we're in a coffee house setting, and we've actually just used food like what that was in front of us
to
actually explain all these little things about people's personality.